It's time to find out which driver is up to the task of claiming the Chinese Grand Prix. Good afternoon, everybody. We're here in Shanghai. Shanghai International Circuit, then, is a 16-corner high-speed thrill ride. The long and ever-tightening right-hander at turns 1 and 2 tests a driver's patience. The flats, open to the elements location, test their skill in a crosswind. 2 DRS zones will assist passing, and they're available into turn 1 and down the kilometre-long back straight into turn 14.
Hey, hey, hey! Umpire here, Black Flag Racing TV. How are we doing, race fans? We are here with, of course, it's Tuesday night, so it's nothing but Smoking Pirellis and F1 streaming all evening. So, Smoking Pirellis Season 7, round number 5. This is their Tuesday league. 7 seasons of this they've been doing, and they're still going strong. Round 5, and we are at Shanghai, and this is a sprint race day. Looking forward to this one. Last week, where were we? We were, well, I wasn't here, but they were. They were there. Oh no, that's this week. There's lots of results from Singapore. That part of the planet, of course. Skills down with a good win for Red Bull, followed by Chuckle Brothers. His actual brother, Chuck, was DNF in 15th place. In fact, there was 60 DNFs in that race. Chuck Brothers, Def Peacock, Shizen, Landscape King, Lewis the Beaker, and I'm Lindsay. All DNF last week. Top 3 though, the skills down, Chuck Brothers and Nat Packers in the Alfa Romeo. Quick look at the standings as they are. That's how the Drivers' Championship looks. The top 11, skills down, Chuckle Brothers, Cameron Poulter are the top 3. Not much separating skills down and Chuckle Brothers. Just one race can make all the difference there. Obviously, it does require skills down not to finish in that race, but yeah, anything can happen. Cameron Poulter there in 3rd, still win with the championship, of course. Then Dusty just outside that top 3. Ace Edge, who I have just read has got a technical issue and might not be racing until he's replaced that steering wheel or fixed that technical issue. That's going to cost him points. His teammate Vroom in 6th place, just a point behind. Then Panda, Chuck Brothers for Williams, and then Nat Packers and JJ Lance will round out the top 10. There's the bottom half of the table. Ozan Tufan in 12th place. Right the way down to Jinxie in 25th, and I'm Nimsy, Aaron Jackson, Spillage, Positron and Landscape King, or Positron, as I say, Landscape King, all on 0 points at the bottom of the table. There's your Constructors' Championship. Red Bull at the moment pulling away from Haas, and Williams in that top 3. Alpine way down at the bottom, 45 points. Load of work for them to do to get themselves back up the order. Didn't help that Death Peacock and I'm Nimsy did not score any decent points last week. So way down in 10th place. But anyone from sort of McLaren to Williams, and there's only a couple of race difference really between them, that can and it can all change at the top of the table. So here we are. Just getting ready to start. Of course, it's a very short qualifying because it's going to be a sprint race today, and that sprint race will be 10 laps, and then 28 lap actual race, I think it is. Yeah, 10 lap sprint and then 28 lap race. We'll go through the runners and riders when we get out there. Coming up this evening, straight after this, we move over to LNR, Late Night Racing League. It is their season finale, and all will be revealed as to champion for constructors and drivers. And I can tell you, it's already been decided. It would take a monumental server crashes and people dying in order to change that this evening. Okay, so we're just loading in, and I love this racetrack. The great thing about Shanghai is it's not really a conventional. Well, it's a conventional racetrack in the fact that it's a racetrack, but it's not conventional in that it kind of it's a very different sort of track. You know, it's got these corners, it's got your long straights, it's got your twisted corners, but a couple of the corners actually are corners that you go into very quickly and break through them to come out slower. And in this weather, and it is tipping down, there's going to be some crashy, I think, in the wet. It's going to be an interesting qualifying in the wet. I wonder if anyone's got their car set up for it. That's the big question. Right, so let's have a quick look who we've got out there today. We've got Shan. Who knows? Ozan 2 Fan is out there today. They are just outside the top 11, 12th place at the moment. Lee Craig in the Ferrari. Chuck Brothers, DNF last week in the Williams. And who's anyone coming out? Watch actually. We went in it. There is Sean. Explicit Simo. Curly's out there today. Zach Johnson. Panda 25. Chuck's brother Chuckle. And his teammate Nay Smith. Skills Down, current championship leader. Death Peacock. Paul Jones Jr. I wonder if he's any relation to Paul John Jones. And if I have to explain to you who they are, you really don't need to know. F1 Immortal. I'm assuming this is Immortal's account for just the use of F1 racing. Vroom. Cameron Poulter and Dusty Fates. 18 runners this evening. So we've got Ozan, we've got Simo, and we've got Cameron Poulter all on outlaps. Let's go with Cameron Poulter in the Williams Racing. You can have a look at the lap there. I do need to turn down my TV. Give me a sec. It's really loud. See that I use the same. Not grown up. Yeah, so we're going to go on board with Cameron Poulter and we'll run over just how complicated this track can be, especially in this weather. It is treacherous out there. Just look at every time he's getting on that power, it's going, the back end just wants to step out. And I wouldn't be weaving too much even on the straight. And here we go. So you would come down to the end of this long, almost back straight and into this huge cutback, 180 switchback, which gives you a little blast down towards the entrance, which is just straight ahead of you there. You turn left and this starts your lap. Now, we'll do a run through, we get a dry lap, we'll do a run through the dry lap. It's a very different track. Where we drive. So you come up to turn 1. In turn 1, you don't really do much other than lift on the way into it, particularly in the drive. But as you go through the turn, it gets tighter and tighter. So you're actually getting slower going through the corner. Unlike most corners where the plan is you go in slower than you kind of speed up your way out. It's slightly different on turn 1. Then you head down, and turn 1 and turn 2 are kind of together. So you go round to the right, around to the left. You've got another right-hand turn here, big turn. Before you're on the power again. Now, obviously in the wet, you're not powering through a lot of these corners you might ordinarily do. So right here, in the dry, you can power through this corner without a lift. You will need a little bit of slowing down to go around this right-hander. But back on the power again. Again, left-hander. And it's another one where it just kind of, it gets a little bit tighter at the last minute. Back on the power again. And then one more of those kind of odd corners here as we head up towards this massive antique grandstand. And it's got that kind of slower on the way out kind of vibe before you come around this right-hander. And as you come around the right-hander, you're itching to get on the power because it feels like you can go. But you have to hang on, you have to wait before you can really give it full beat. This back straight. And you'll get a DRS zone here. There's a DRS zone, of course, on the start finish line as well. 2 DRS zones. If it's not wet, you will get to see it. So Cameron Poulter is coming out to complete his lap and see what time he gets. But so far, Ozan Tufan and Explicit Simo both setting faster times, but they're happy out on track. How quick is this for Cameron Bolter? Is it quick enough for pole position? Across the line, absolutely is. That's a 1:40.0 for Cameron Bolter. That's 3 tenths quicker than Explicit Simo with a 48.3, and Ozan Tufan with a 49.7, so more time to put in. Now, this is important more than ever when you've got a track this wet, you get something on the board, because with a track this wet, it's gonna go horribly wrong. And driving in the rain, I've never been a fan of wet driving. It's just not my thing. There's nothing fun about it, and it's a pain in the arse, to be honest. But it does throw up some brilliant scenarios. And Chuckle Brothers with a 1:47.6. That's a phenomenal lap in this weather. He puts himself on pole position. And I'll tell you what, if anyone's going to be challenging Skills Down this season for the top spot, I think it might be him. He's putting in some really solid times. Certainly does some quick racing out front there. But there is your current championship leader, Skills Down in the Red Bull. His lap was a 1:50.5. That is not the sort of time he would be wanting to see on the board. So definitely wants to put another time in at some stage over the next 11 or 12 minutes. Now, I haven't had it confirmed either way whether it is just the race that's wet, or just the qualifying that's wet. I'm assuming the race isn't. Who knows? Who knows? So, that's the lineup for the season. Ace Edge of room for AMG Mercedes. It's Skills Dan and Sean for Red Bull Racing. I Commons and Ozan for McLaren. Panda and Lee Craig for Ferrari. Def Peacock and Niamzi in the Alpine. Pedro and Dusty in AlphaTauri. Aaron Jackson and Jojo Lancer in the Aston Martin. Chuck Brothers and Cameron Poulter for Williams Racing. Zach Johnson and Explicit Simo for Alfa Romeo. And Chuckle Brothers and Naismith in the Haas F1 car. Interesting fact, you may not know, there are only 3 teams in Formula 1 that have always been the team that they are now, have never changed their name. Can you tell me that? That would be interesting if anyone knows. I mean, it's to be fair, it's not hard. All honesty. Right, so we are round 5. This is China. We've been to Portugal, Bahrain, Brazil. We went over to Asia for Singapore. We're at China, and then next week we're over to Australia for Albert Park. That was a horrible Australia, Australia for Albert Park, followed by the Red Bull Ring, then to Circuit Zandvoort, then Algarve Ring, and finally race number 10 in just 5 weeks' time will be at Imola. So let's have a little run through who we've got. Skills Dan, that's a much better lap from him. That puts him on pole. That's a 1:47.1 from him. Chuckle Brothers, 47.6 for row 1 alongside Skills Dan. Row 2, that's Paul Jones Jr. Alongside Cameron Poulter. Only Paul Jones Jr. is sub 1:48. Chuck is now out qualifying, as we've just seen. He is on row 3, he heads up row 3 alongside Explicit Simo. So Chuck is obviously happy with his 48.1, thinks that's good enough. Sean and Vroom, they are on row 4 with Shen and Zach Johnson on row 5. And Chuck, no change there, ignore me. So Simo on row 4. Yeah, Simo and Sean on row 4. Shen and Zach Johnson on row 5. That's Panda in Ferrari. Lee Craig on row 6. And row 7 at the moment is Ozan Tufan. So just Curly, Naismith, Death Peacock, Immortal and Dusty Fakes left to settle up. And of those, Curly is out, Naismith out, Death Peacock is on track, Immortal on track, and Dusty Fakes on track. So we will have a representative time for everybody in the next 2 minutes. And that's Dusty Fakes. That's a 56.9. He's going to have to go again because that is not good enough. Naismith back into the pits without setting a time. Curly on and out, that Death Peacock in the Alpine and the back end of that car just slippy, slidey all over the place. It's disgusting, this weather. Genuinely, I would stay in my house if it was wet like this, because it is nasty. So here we go, we've got Death Peacock heading down towards the second of the two DRSOs on this lap. Going not super quick. He's in 8th gear, but it doesn't look like he's going that quick. Could just be deceptive, but it looked to me that he was going very slowly. It's certainly not quick enough to be setting, excuse me, blistering times. Let's get some other telemetry. I want lap data. So Death Peacock, that's not a good time. And he puts it in the wall. He's going to have to now get his car all the way around and back into the pits with that damage. It's going to be difficult to get back. It's wet. It's treacherous. He's got to get back. He's got to repair. He could be in trouble here. I don't know if he's going to have enough time to get a lap in. 2:09.4 would put him plumb last if you get a time on the board, but not a very good one. Dusty Fakes 15th, 156.9. Immortal 151.8. I Commons has joined us. Welcome to the party, pal. A little bit late, but he's here. That's all that matters. That's the best thing about it. Curly, still in the pits, needs to set time. Naismith. Can he beat his Naismith today, but can he be Yes Smith later? As he tries to set time, his teammate is currently on the front row alongside Skills Dan in the other Haas cars. And we finally have our 20th Rapid F1. Here is he finally makes it now. Rapid F1 needs to give us some speed. Needs some speed from Rapid F1. And it's good to see him back involved in racing. Last Thursday. Well, you know what I mean. Could be a good opportunity for Rapid F1 today to actually get some confidence back. It's not been going so well for him. Would normally be doing driving, but he's not going to have the time to do it today. I've got to do it straight afterwards. LNR season finale, straight up after this, where we will crown our champion, who will be revealed in a couple of hours' time. So there is your pole sitter, Cameron Poulter, 146.5. What a lap that is. He's on the intermediate tyres, so the track drying up a little bit. Does this mean then that it's going to start tumbling in terms of lap times? Doesn't look like the rain's coming down anymore, so it just looks like the track is moist. The air no longer moist. And I'm saying the word moist because people don't like it. Good evening, Lazy Camel, Simply Pro. How are you doing, buddy? It's good to see you. Nice bit of F1 racing this evening. Like the Instagram post, congratulations on 2,000 drivers to Simply Pro. Anyone wants to know, I'm talking to Simply Pro. They run a very, very cool race simulation management system. It's not just a race management system, you can use it to manage all of your races, which is what we use it for. That's a black flag, but you can also use it to find individual races. I think kind of Grid Finder a bit better. It's like a better Grid Finder, because you can sign up directly there to the races. You can see all the race right, and then find other groups and all kind of things. Really good. Set up teams, etc. Right, so let's have a run through. Ozan 2 fan puts himself on pole. So as the track starts to evolve, as the track starts to dry, you're going to start to see these times tumbling. So front row, Ozan 2 fan, Cameron Bolter, Skills Down and Chuckle Brothers relegated to row 2. But not for long as Shad, Chuckle Brothers down to row 3 with Paul John Jr. And again, everyone dropping down. Naismith on pole. That's a 45.3. These times really are tumbling, and I tell you what, with only 3 minutes to go, cars are going to be on this track, frantically looking for a bit of room. It is going to be absolute carnage out there, and I wouldn't be surprised if people start getting in each other's way a little bit. Just trying to find a lap somewhere. Naismith getting off the track and out the way. Doesn't want to affect anybody's hot lap, and it's going to be difficult to find room. And you're going to have to, you're going to see a lot of yellow flags just purely because there's going to be a lot of people getting out of the way. And there we go. That's a sub 145. That's Chuckle Brothers in the Haas. And that's why he is definitely a championship contender. That's a quality lap time. So front row is the two Haas at the moment. Knocking out row 1. Ozan Tufan, Cameron Poulter, row 2. Skills Dan and Shan, row 3. Row 4 is Paul Jones Jr. with Zach Johnson. Chuck Brothers, Chuckle's brother, clearly, obviously, and we know that for a fact now. So I can't start saying it's his mum or his dad or his sister or anything like that, or wife. Him and Vroom, they're on row 5. Explicit Simone, Sean on row 6. Panda and Lee Craig, row 7. F1 Immortal and Dusty Fakes, row 8. Death Peacock and Icomans on row 9. That Icomans still to settle up, as is Curling, as is Rapid F1. Now, if Chuck Brothers deliberately bowed out of qualifying early because he thought the time was good, he's going to be pretty pissed off right now because he's going to find himself tumbling down that order like a fat man down a hill, and it's going to, I think he's going to find himself somewhere near the back of the pack as everyone just kind of backing up now, trying to find a little bit of room on the racetrack. And I don't know what's going on there, a little bit of fisticuffs between that Rapid F1 and I don't know who that was they were arguing with, but there we go. Current new pole sitter, Dusty Fakes, 44-0. Chuckle Brothers on the front row now. Zach Johnson, row 2 with Paul Jones Jr. Naismith down to 5th place. Going to whack on some new tyres, get straight back out on track. There is no time left. You basically have to, if you don't go out now, you're not going to get another lap in. In fact, you won't get another lap in because you're too late, man. Too late. So if you're on the track now and you're doing a hot lap, you still got a chance. If you're on the track and you're doing an out lap, you still got a chance. Naismith finishes their qualifying 6th place. Rapid F1 still to set a lap. They are currently last, and if they cannot get a decent lap on the board, that's where they will start. Death Peacock on a hot lap now, trying to get somewhere in sector 3 right now, coming down to the last or the penultimate corner with big right hand, and we just see where the track is starting to dry out, and they're finding some little patches where they can get the power down, not worry about the back end wiggling around like a stripper's ass, and get power down and get on with it. A Death Peacock coming up to the line. What is that time? That's a 1:45.3. Puts them into the top half. Row 4 for Death Peacock. And that's not just a single person. Death Peacock is a whole thrash metal band from Norway. Named after their the Peacock of Death. Dusty Fate still on pole. 44-0. Sean joins them on the front row with 44-6. Skills down, trying to put in another hot lap. Has he got what it takes? One more corner. What's his time looking like? Is it going to be quick enough? I'm not sure. Skills down has done enough for pole position here. Yes, he has. Just outside it. I thought he'd done enough for pole then, but he hasn't. He's on the front row, but not enough for pole position for Skills down. That's a 44-1. So the current champion, the current championship leader, and he's off the front row as Chuckle Brothers chucks in a 44.024, just 4,000ths of a second quicker than Dusty Fakes put in the Alpha Tauri. Cameron Poulter, he's currently sitting row 2 with Skills down. Sean finishes 5th place, row 3. There's still quite a few out there though. Who else is putting in quick times? Well, let's get further up. So here we go. We're on with Vroom, and Vroom will be the next to cross the line. It would be nice if I could go through the order they are on the track, not the order they are in terms of speed, because then we would see. That's not going to be quick enough, I don't think, for Vroom. Explicit Simo is now on pole. That's a sub 44. That's a 43.9. That's a 44.9 for Vroom. They're not going to improve on that. Here comes Zach Johnson. Zach Johnson will cross the line. That puts him into the second row. Who's next to cross? Immortal, can Immortal improve? Immortal comes to the line. Little improvement, nothing significant, nothing to write home about. Just waiting on Curly and Shan. What about Rapid F1? Rapid F1 home in 11th, Curly 9th. I think we're done. So, Explicit Simo takes pole with a sub 44 lap. 1:43.985. Chuckle Brothers just behind him on row 1. Row 2 is going to be Dusty Fakes with Zach Johnson. Cameron Poulter and Skills down on row 3. Sean and I Commons on row 4. Curly and Vroom on row 5. Rapid F1 comes in outside the top 10. Row 6 with Paul Jones Jr. Death Peacock and Naismith on row 7. Row 8 is Panda and Lee Craig. Row 9, Ozan, Tufan and F1 Immortal. And Shan and whoever the other one was. Let's bring that the rear. But there is your pole sitter, Explicit Simo 23 in the Alfa Romeo Sauber. There's the full rundown for qualifying. Explicit Simo from Chuckle Brothers in the Haas. Dusty Fakes Alpha Tauri. Zach Johnson in the Alfa Romeo. 2 Alfa Romeos in the top 5. Good start for them. Cameron Poulter in the Williams. Skills Dan in the Red Bull. Sean in the Red Bull. iCommons in the McLaren. Curly and Vroom in the Mercedes 9th and 10th. Rapid F1 in the Alpine. Paul Jones Jr. in the Aston Martin. Death Peacock in the second Alpine. We've got the Haas of Naismith in 14th. 15th is Panda in the Ferrari. Lee Craig in the Ferrari also. In 16th, 17th is Ozan Tufan. 18th F1 Immortal. Shan in the Alpha Tauri is 19th. And bringing up the rear is Chuck Brothers with a did not finish. You're right, it is absolutely so close to the top. And generally these guys are, these guys are close to the top on a Tuesday. You want to see them on a Thursday night, it's even closer. It's a beautiful thing. Now, hopefully, no safety cars. I'm bored of safety cars. In the last two, I counted, I think it was on Thursday, I counted how many safety cars I've had in the last 2 weeks. And it was somewhere near 40-something. Over the course of, not just one league, over the course of several different leagues, several different races, several different nights. But, yeah, it's ridiculous amount. So, no safety cars, please. That's much better weather. Ironically, actually, more people seem to crash when there's no wet weather. But, there we go. Wait for everyone to load and we can get cracking with the sprint race. And of course, the sprint race will decide the grid for our feature. 10 laps of sprint. No one's going to be worrying too much about strategy. Everyone's going to be thinking about absolutely melting that shit. Giving it some full beans all the way. Why are the batteries? Well, batteries in my vapor nearly run out. That's what happens when you don't charge them. So I've got some more on charge, luckily. Do need to get some more actually. So, yeah, we're not doing interviews at the end. I did have something set up for interviews at the end, but just unless we finish early, which is unlikely. But I've got to jump straight across and do another broadcast straight afterwards. And I do want to apologise to everyone watching that wanted to watch the Porsche Cup on Friday. I wasn't very well on Friday. Could not continue with the stream. It was quite bad, to be fair. But I'm back and everything's working now, and I hope to be back with you this weekend for round 3 of the Porsche Cup. And I do want to say publicly very well done to Jay and to Armids for Black Flag Racing, who both placed very, very low this week. I'm gutted that I missed it. And we'll catch up with you over the next day or so. And well done, Chris, for stepping in and covering for me last week.com. Right, so we're on the formation map, and Simo is doing the cardinal sin of absolutely chucking himself miles ahead. And you really don't want to do that. You do all the work to get all the heat into your tyres and into your brakes, and have the car ready to go and set up perfectly and at optimal temperature, and then you sit and you sit and you sit on that grid waiting for all the cars to come behind you until they're ready to go. So ideally what you want to do is have everyone bunched up as close as possible before you jump into your pit box. Looking forward to seeing Rapid F1. We know he's very quick. Seeing what he can do from outside the top 10. Remember, the Rapid F1 is the reigning Thursday Tier 1 champion. So we know he's capable of winning a championship and has certainly got some pace. Can he get himself in amongst the mix? Skills Dan, he's the current championship leader in the Red Bull, and we've got the 2 Red Bulls in 6th and 7th, but he's got 5 drivers ahead of him, including his biggest championship rival at the moment, who's Chuckle Brothers, who's up in 2nd place on the front row. It's good to be back, Paul. It's very good to be back. It's good to see you, my friend. Yeah. I've missed this. It's good to be back, man. Good to be back. I've got to say, I was very disappointed, Paul, when I went on to GT7s and saw what the day races were. Because, oh my God, it's going to be very difficult to get. Well, no, it's not going to be difficult to get footage for dicks of the dailies. I mean, there's definitely going to be footage available. It's just the tracks are just so boring that I might fall asleep while driving. I suppose that would be good. That would be good footage as well, wouldn't it? There we go. Right, so we're all lined up ready for this 10-lap sprint race here at China. We will do an on-board with, I think we'll go on board with, start, as he's back in 6th place, let's start Skills down, see how everyone gets away. There's 5 lights, the lights will go out, and we are away, and that's a good start. See there on the left-hand side from Cameron Poulter, getting himself up, maybe into the top 3, as they go into turn 1. That's a great move from Cameron Poulter, up into the top 3, Skills down. Stays in 6th. Commons makes a big move up to 7th place, and it looks like we're away. And Chuckle Brothers has made his way into the lead of this race. That's a great start. In terms of tyres, what are people running? Everybody's running the medium tyres. Not surprised really. If you put the hard tyres on, bear in mind, 10 laps without any trouble at all on the medium tyres. Is just balls out, absolutely give it some racing for the next 10 laps here at China. So let's have a look at, I want the lap data up, and I want to have a look at position change, because already we've seen Vroom and Naismith down in the bottom of the pack. Naismith going very, very slowly, just coming back up to speed now. Vroom has lost 9 places. Naismith lost 6. Are they going to go and have to fix up some damage? And that's a great shot in the background of the cars. The other side of sector 3. Absolutely melting it. Out front there is Chuckle Brothers. He is already gained 1 place. Cameron Poulter, that fantastic start, takes him up to 3rd place. 2 places lost from Mr. Simo. Dusty Fake loses 1. Zach Johnson also losing 1. Skills Dad still sitting there in 6th place. Biding his time, I reckon, for an opportunity to bust his way forward. His teammate just behind him. Are they playing a bit of a team game today? They are. Commons, there he is in 8th place. He's got Paul Johns Jr. with a 3-place gain just behind him. Rapid F1 just behind him in 10th place. He's gained a place. And Death Peacock, the death metal band, the 6-piece death metal band from the in 11th place. And each one of them uses it. The drummer does things sometimes. Leads it as a great. Left downshift is done in so on and so on. Some of that Ozan Tufan, he is in 12th place, 5 places gained for him. Curly with a 4-place drop down in that AMG Mercedes. Chuck Brothers, miles behind his brother. His brother is in the lead. He has gained 6 places, but he's in 15th place. Significant work to do. And in the brothers' house, bragging rights go to Chuckle. Shan in 15th, gained 4 places. Lee Craig started 16th, is 16th in the Ferrari. F1 Immortal, some say that he can't buy. So virtue safety car ending, and it is green light and go, go, go. And already Cameron Poulter looking at the back of Chuckle Brothers, seeing if there's a way through in its early stages of this sprint race. And this will, of course, set the grid for the feature race straight after this. And this is that corner talk about it, turn one. And now we'll do it again next time we go around it. I wanted to show you how complicated it can be. I have the telemetry up to see just how difficult a corner is, particularly for a first corner in a Formula 1 track. He's trying to find a way to get on the back of Chuck Brothers. Dusty Fates started third, is third. Zach Johnson started fourth, is fourth. Skills Down moves up one, as does his teammates Sean. Commons also up one. Explicit Simo down 7th place now. He was our sponsor, starting to drop through that order. Vroom down in 16th, Naismith 17th. Death Peacock, massive loss for him. He's down in 18th place. Lee Craig in 19th and in 20th. So lots of changes in the top end. Commons up one into 7th place with Explicit Simo losing 7 places from Paul. Paul Jones Jr. in 9th place is up 3 places with Rapid F1 getting himself into that top 10. Next up the road is Paul Jones Jr. Ozan Tufan, 6 places gained for him in that McLaren. He is currently running 11th place. As we see, Explicit Simo making a move on, was he making a move on Paul Jones Jr. or Paul Jones Jr. coming on in? It looks like they're hanging a go on each other. Let's go. Let's have one for Paul Jones Jr. Show you just like with that DRS, you're going to make the overtake round the outside. You come in hot. You only literally dropping down again. You start braking and dropping down again. You basically trail brake this entire corner. And rather than changing down early to get in, you're still doing essentially 6th gear speeds into the corner. And as you get through the corner, you're changing down and down and down and down and down until it finally tightens up right at the end. You're down into 1st gear, and then you start thinking about your exit. Very, very strange corner. And it does require a completely reset of the but that, we saw Paul Jones Jr. making a trying to make moves around the outside, but the complexity of that corner just made it difficult. You get certainly quite hanging on there on the outside. Inside line is always going to be your best place to be. Turn one, even when you know back in the turn two is right, so Chuckle Brothers have just opened up a gap out front. That's the beauty of that start. You can see that Cameron Poulter has made some moves up into that top 3, but not close enough to make any challenge to probably the biggest challenge to Skills Down. I think if you look at Cameron Poulter, Chuckle Brothers and Skills Down, it's got 3 big title challenges. And that's the fastest lap from Chuckle Brothers. And we're already halfway through this sprint race. So Cameron Poulter, he's got it down to under a second. He's getting a little bit, he's hoping to keep under a second to get that bit of DRS just to help him along. As we see Curly dropping down and Shan making a move up into 13th. Lucky for some. It might have been unlucky for Curly, not so much for Shan. Dusty Fates, starting 3rd, is 3rd, holding well in 3rd place, or in that top 3 anyway. Holding Zach Johnson at bay, but he couldn't hold Skills Down at bay. Skills Down makes that move on Zach Johnson. Zach Johnson coming back at him, makes the move back. Skills Down again, takes that position. This is a 2-way battle, and literally trading the position. Side by side these guys are racing. Skills Down just has the edge. Round the outside he goes, on the power, and he still hasn't got the move fully done yet, because Zach Johnson still on the inside, has to back out there though, and that he does. That lets him drop off a little bit from the back of Dusty Fates, who's in 2.8 seconds off the leaders, Chuckle Brothers and Cameron Poulter. But at the moment, safe from Skills Down and Sean, who's also made the move now on Zach Johnson. So Zach Johnson was battling for 4th, and now he's battling for 5th. Alongside Zach Johnson is really going off. You've got 4 or 5 cars all involved in there at the moment. Skills Down, Zach Johnson, Sean, Commons, Explicit Simo, all on top of each other. it's like a massive romp at a male prison on Christmas morning. They're all so close to each other. It's a horrible analogy. Can't believe why I considered that. Rapid F1 losing places down 2.1 seconds down behind Curly. Losing 3 places, not finding the form. Chuck, he's made 10 places up. 10 places. He was plumb last with a DNF in qualifying, and here he is inside the top 10, looking to try and close on Paul Jones, who's himself gave 3 places. So Cameron Poulter still not able to get within that 1 second and give himself the impetus that DRS has. Naismith with the fastest lap of the race. That's a 34.9. To put that into context, that was the qualifying time on the Inters tyres that was put in by Mississippi. There we go. So Chuck Brothers taking a little bit of control of this race now. 1.4 seconds clear. Cameron Poulter is 3.3 clear of Dusty Fakes. The top 3 just spreading out a little bit. But then behind Dusty Fakes, it's a DRS train of misery. The skills down. Zach Johnson, Sean, 1993. I Collins, Explicit Simo, Paul Jones Jr. And I'm assuming that's Sean's date back in 1993. And answer the postcard, and you can remember what you were doing in 1993. So I was 18. So I was probably that may or may not be confirmed. So Chuckle Brothers in the lead. Cameron Poulter, Dusty Fakes, Skins Dan up into the top 4. He's got some work to do to catch Dusty Fakes, and then he does. He's then got 3.5 seconds up the road to catch Cameron Poulter and Chuckle Brothers. Zach Johnson, Sean 1993, I Commons, Simo, who was half Poulter to second now, and Paul Jones Jr. Very difficult for them. I mean, it's not the easiest race track in the world to overtake anyway. You're kind of relying on mistakes. Not many turns where you can chuck one up the inside and it's going to go well for you. Hi Collins, this is what you do make the overtake though. With DRS, with slipstream, and I Collins makes it look almost too easy on the Red Bull Sean. Although Sean, coming back at him, he's going to have a run down to this the left-hander, and will he get enough on the DRS to make a move? It's a bit of a shorter straight here, and I guarantee that we can see Icon pounding that DRS button like his life depends upon it. Explicit Zero is still running in 8th place. Battle ahead is between Sean and Icon. Icon is can he close down on Zach Johnson? You see him make the move on Sean. Can he now make that move on Zach Johnson and give himself place in that top 5? So let's have a rundown from the rear forward because we're on lap 8 of 10 here. Sprint race here at China. Ding, 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 ding. We've lost Lee Craig from this race. He is our first DNF. Guess what? We've only had a VSC, no actual SC so far. Don't jinx it, or don't jinx it, but that's the case. Panda 25, 4.7 seconds back from the man who cannot die. He is immortal. 2.4 seconds back from the Norwegian death metal band Death. Just half a second back from Naismith. Naismith had put in the fastest lap of the race, but he's back in 16th place. And it looks like Death Peacock is eyeing up 16th place as a possible finish for them. Vroom! Not going vroom too much because he's 10 seconds behind Curly. There is his teammate Curly. Just about to make a move on Ozan, or is he? He's got the DRS, he does make that move. Ozan dropping down to 14th place, and Curly up into 13th. Rapid F1 down in 12th and lost a place from his start position. He had moved his way into the top 10. Now down in 12th place, 1.2 seconds behind Shan, who is 8 places gained, 5 seconds behind Chuck Brothers, who has gained 10 positions. Driver of the day being handed out to him, I feel. 2.5 seconds behind Paul Jones Jr., who's 3 tenths behind Mr. Simo. Half a second he is behind Sean, who is closed right on the back of I-Commons and looking to gain that position back very soon. I-Commons 1.4 seconds back from Zach Johnson, who is on the back of Skills Dan. A few battles going on here at the moment. Dusty Fates 3.6 seconds. You can see him there, he's 3 tenths ahead of Skills Dan, trying to make that position down. Cameron Poulter in second place. There is Chuckle Brothers. He is your race leader. Here he comes into sector 3. He's got 2.1 second lead over Cameron Poulter and will win this sprint race with great confidence and ease. Put himself on the front row, took first place from the line and never looked back. Well, he may have looked back, but he didn't need to because the gap is 2 seconds. And here he goes. He will round this final left-hander into the start-finish straight, and Chuckle Brothers will win the sprint race here at the Chinese Grand Prix by 2 seconds. No, he won't, because he's still got one more lap to go. Pay attention, Andy. Why did I think it was on the last lap? Because I was looking at the lap count. So one more lap for Chuckle Brothers. So I hope I haven't jinxed it for you, mate, that you don't get caught. So we do have time to see if anyone else is making moves. Zach Johnson in 5th place. Can he make a move on Skills Down? Well, he needs to be dropping off rather than dropping into. Skills Down still looking for a way into that top 3. Dusty Fate's doing everything he can to keep the Alpha Tauri in front of him and stop Skills Down from taking that podium spot in this sprint race here in Shanghai. And he's going to be Shanghai very high if he can take this 3rd step on the podium from Dusty Fates. But Dusty Fates, to be fair, very, very good in that one. Put those intermediates on, got them singing, got a decent lap out of him, and deserves to be there. He started there. I'll tell you what, if you're racing, if you wherever you qualify, your minimum aim has to be to finish where you start. You know, of course you're going to want to make places, but you know, an average day is to finish where you started. So Skills Down, this is going to be probably the last opportunity as we head down towards line. So here we go, Chuckle Brothers. This time we're going to watch him win this race. Although Cameron Poulter is now only 1.5 seconds behind him. So Chuckle Brothers rounds the corner. There he goes across the line to win the sprint race here. Cameron Poulter home in 2nd. Dusty Fates holds off Skills Down for 3rd. Skills Down coming in 4th. Zach Johnson in 5th. I-Commons in 6th. Explicit Simo Pole Sitter in 7th place. Sean in 8th. Paul Jones Jr. in 9th. There is a bit carbon fibre. Chuck Brothers in 10th ahead of behind Paul Jones Jr. ahead of Shan. Rapid F1 in 12th place. Ozan in 13th. Curly comes home in 14th. There's an Alpha Tauri in the wall. Cha-la-la-la-la. An Alpha Tauri in the wall. Naismith in 16th place. Death Peacock in 17th. F1 Immortal in 18th. Tanda in 19th. There is Chuck Brothers. And it's not an Alpha Tauri. He's an Alpha Tauri fucking Haas. It's a Haas, isn't it? He's a Haas. Look at me. He's still so it's not. There's a Haas and an Alpha Tauri. That's why it looked like an Alpha Tauri, because there is a Haas and an Alpha Tauri celebrating together. But there we go. There is your race winner, Chuckle Brothers, who is currently his car and the Alpha Tauri of might be Cameron Poulter having sexy times in the world. It can't be, because Cameron Poulter was Williams, so we can only guess that that's his. But there we go. Chuckle Brothers wins the sprint race here. So 8 points for him, 1 point for Sean, nothing for everybody else. There we go. Done and dusted. On we move. 36 laps. Same again, but this time a little bit more strategy. 36 laps here. which is essentially about an hour's racing, if that's thereabouts. Be back shortly with the feature race. I think it's 36 laps. I could be wrong. Don't hold me to it. Boom Shanker. So there we go. So your grid was set from, of course, the sprint race. Here we are at the feature race. It's not 36 laps. I'm talking absolute bollocks. It's 28 laps here at Shanghai. And you would think that the amount of broadcasts I do, that I would have complete files on the track. Well, the fact is that I do. But what I think really is mainly just videos and pictures. Facts that are useful and pertinent to doing any sort of commentary. So, Chuckle Brothers will lead us out in the Haas. Cameron Poulter, that'll be row number 1. Row 2 will be Dusty Fake Skills Dan. Row 3, Zach Johnson, I Commons. Row 4 will be Explicit Simo with Sean. Row 5, Chuck Brothers, made up a place with Shan. Rapid F1 and Ozan, row 6. Curly and Paul Jones Jr. on row 7. Vroom and Naismith on row 8. Row 9 is Death Peacock and Immortal. Panda and Lee Craig at the back of the pack. Here we go, lining up on the grid, ready to go now. Chuckle Brothers, remember, took first place away from Explicit Simo immediately from the grid in the sprint race, and never looked back, was first the entire race. Can he do that again? Big task, 28 laps to take the lead, keep the lead, maintain the lead. Let's go on board with I Commons in the McLaren. Why did I forget? I'm literally looking at the car and the word orange just kept popping into my head. And we are away. And that's another good start from I Commons. He had a great start in the sprint. He's a bit of a master of this shizzle. Well, I say crashed, it wasn't that way because this is Simone, but he's up the inside. How many places is he going to gain here? And that's Cameron Poulter off the track. Can he get himself back on the track anytime soon? He is back on, but that's a big, big shuffle for Cameron Poulter. Way down the order. So Dusty Fates up into second position. Chuckle Brothers in the lead. Dusty Fates, Skills Down up into that top three. Couldn't make the overtake of Dusty Fates to get himself there, but Cameron Poulter said, I'll do it instead. Although he is starting to bust his way through. Some pace on him there, so just a little bit wide into turn one, heading into turn two, but already finding his way back through. Now, strategy. One stop is medium hard, two stop is soft medium hard, or soft hard possibly, if you're brave. We'll see what strategy people go for. Let's first find out what tyres people are starting on, because that might give us a good indication as strategy-wise. So, Chuckle Brothers has gone for the hard compound tyre. Now, the longer he can stay out on those tyres, the better it will be for him. And of course, the last thing he needs is an early safety car. So he'll want a nice long run out to something like lap 15, lap 16, lap 17, without a safety car. And that will play right into his hands. Dusty Fate has gone for the medium compound tyres, as has Skills Down and Zach Johnson. Next hard tyre runner is Sean Skills Down, Red Bull. He's gone for a little longer first stint on compound tyres. Ozan, Cameron Poulter, Explicit Simone, Chuck Brothers, and Icons all on the mediums. Panda opting for going racy soft. And Lee Craig out of this race, so he had to go in for some repairs by the looks of things. Went too fast in the pit lane, realised he didn't have the correct spanner, couldn't get on his car, and has had to retire because no one had a spanner. So he's out of this race, and the top is going to shouldn't he said to come this stage. So Panda, this is the move I want because he's on really soft on my time, as is the Death Beaker. They, in order to make this short first stint work, they need to absolutely drop some speed, some raw unadulterated speed, and make up some positions. Otherwise, it's not going to be worthwhile wasting a good set of soft. So, from the back of the pack, where are we at? Positions. Lots of positions lost at the back of this pack. Paul Jones Jr., 5 places down, 28, nearly 29 seconds back from dirt. So got some work to do to catch up. There is Death Peacock in 18th place, half a second back from Shan, half a second back from Vroom, who is half a second back from Curly. And this is a very curly track, so you think this is named after it, very good. But you've got two Mercedes-Benz running in 15th and 16th place. It's 1.6 seconds up the road to the reigning Thursday Tier 1 champion, Rapid F1, who is not having the greatest of days. To be fair, he's not having the greatest of seasons. But doing okay, but not. He's not set the world on fire yet, but I'm sure he will do so soon. Maybe I should talk about. Maybe it's me talking about this on the chest. So Vroom make the move past Curly. Curly dropping. He had some damage maybe. Now having a fight there with Shaz and some battling going on there between them. F1 Immortal. Half a second up from Rapid F1. Half a second back from Naismith. In the second half, his teammate, of course, is in the lead, being chased down by Dusty Fakes and Skills Down. And that looks like actually Dusty Fakes making the move on Chuckle Brothers into turn one. Can he make it stick? Well, he doesn't. I think it's just the extra grip. You can just break that little bit later going into the corner, and that extra little bit of traction coming out as he makes that move into the lead of this race with the fastest lap of the race to boot. There is Skills Down. He's got the DRS wide open, trying to make a move up into turn one. Not happening for him there. but he is now tucked in behind. This is a much better battle than we saw for the top 3 in the sprint race, which is really expected going balls out. And here we go, skills down. We're looking to try and make a move on Chuckle Brothers. He's down the outside. Does he make the move stickier? Is he going for the old switcher move? No, he sticks it, keeps it round the outside. And they are side by side. Does this play into Dusty Fates? If Chuckle Brothers has got to spend his time defending skills down. As Paul Jones Jr. down in last place puts in the fastest lap of the race. And that's the Martin. I will read the entire over. It's like when you only that's what's figures up in York and that flash. And you thought it was a barrel, it turns out it's only very giant. It's a ridiculous amount. That's what it's like with a team. Right, so skills down. There's just that kind of 2 tenths gap that they all had. Just kind of drops off a little bit. And the battle will commence later for all to see. So where were we? We were looking at Naismith Panda, half-second back from iCommons. iCommons now DRS. That's a move on Ozan by Chuck Brothers. Can he go around his teammate or not? His teammate just stays ahead. He's going to have another crack at this coming up in after this left-hander in the start finish straight. Good exit there he needed. Much better exit he needed. And it just wasn't a good enough exit to give him the run on Ozan. So Chuck Brothers making up a place up into 8th position in the Williams. He is now already over half a second clear of Ozan. 1.2 behind the sprint race pole sitter, Simo, who is currently running in 7th place. That's where he started this race. Behind Cameron Poulter, who we saw losing it in turn 1. And just dropped down the order. He's managed to recover a couple of positions. And that's Chuck Brothers and Skills down, duking it out for 2nd place. And Chuck Paul Brothers does get that place back, but with the superior tyres, can Skills down make that grip count? He will not want Chuck Brothers to be holding him up and giving Dusty Fates the opportunity to pull off up the road and make a little bit of a gap. And he's having another little crack at the back of him. And if you're tough and Chuck Brothers, this is what you can see bearing down behind you. And all this serves to do is bring Zach Johnson, Sean, Cameron Poulter, even Exclusive Simo back in 7th, and maybe even Chuck Brothers in 8th place, all into this fight. Maybe that's the plan. Maybe this is a very, very clever ploy to get his brother into the top 5, just to close them all up and give him someone to chase. That's not true, of course it's not. And Skills Dan still in 3rd, but he will pounce as soon as the opportunity is presented to him. But that's a great shot because with DRS open, all chasing down Chuckle Brothers. And it's almost like he's going up the road going, to me. That's the joke. If you're not British, you're like, oh, you're not British. I don't know. But if you look at the racetrack, everybody bar 5 cars are in turn 1 at the moment. It's so close. There's nothing between them really to separate all of these guys. Such close racing. And the fact that they haven't crashed and it's all still very clean. And these guys are racing at, 150, 180 miles an hour. Side by side around corners. You've got to have a little bit of talent to do that. Even if it is just on a sim racing game. Which, you still have to be talented to make these kind of moves. But, there we go. Dusty Fates is your leader in the AlphaTauri. That'll be who was humping it up with Chuckle Brothers in the end of the sprint race, I think. Death Peacock out of this race, another DNF. I don't know how long ago that was, I only just noticed it. But that's another DNF here on lap 6 of 28 laps. Chuckle Brothers was on pole, was in the lead. Dusty Fates used the superior tyres and some skills to pay the bills and use those skills to take 1st place. And again, this is DRS train running all the way back to Cameron Poulter in 6th place. And no one really getting any benefit from it because they've all got it. So it's going to be about, I think, pit strategy as well. You know, are you brave? Do you go in sooner than you plan to for a little undercut, or can you hang on a lot longer for an overcut? Stay hydrated, folks. Dusty Fates, your leader from Chuckle Brothers. Skills down Zach Johnson. Let's have a look mid-table, rapid F1. So there he is. He is tucked in under that wing of Icons, who's running in 9th place. And he is just behind, 1.5 seconds behind Chuck. Chuck 1.8 outside that top 7. Your top 5 currently remains pretty much unchanged for the last few laps. Cameron Poulter dropping out of it, of course, on that one, and finds himself down in 6th place. Okay, fastest lap. Who's got the fastest lap? Well, that is with this guy. He's the fastest man on the racetrack at the moment, Paul Jones Jr. with a 1:36.5. Now, I imagine we will see mid-35s from the front runners as this pace starts to pick up. At least I expect to see that. Whether I actually do or not is another matter. But, you know, we can all wish, can't we? So we're on lap 8 of 28. That leaves us with about 20 minutes to go in this race. Dusty Fates in the lead. 1:37.1 is their fastest lap. Their fastest lap, because that's actually a fucking word, you bellend. That's not a word. Fastest lap is the word I was looking for, not fastest. So gap 2 leader. Skills Dan ahead of Chuckle Brothers and holding firm at the moment. 1 second behind Dusty Fates. If he don't now, now bear in mind Chuckle Brothers is now 1.8 seconds back from Skills Dan, from the leader. So that'll put him about a second back from Skills Dan. And I want to go back actually to the interval times, because if Skills Dan can pull out a 1 second gap from Chuckle Brothers and stay within 1 second of Dusty Fates, this could change the complexion of the front 3 until at least the pit window. Actually, of course, nobody has a dreaded wall-related incident or another car-related incident. But Dusty Fates in the lead of this race is now being chased down by the current championship leader, Skills Dan, who is being chased down by someone on a bit of a mad one in terms of results at the moment. Chuckle Brothers, who's really desperately trying to get back in front of the pack. Now, bear in mind though, we'll be going much deeper, longer and deeper, is what I hear very often in the Never. But that's how far Chuckle Brothers is going into this race. He's going in deeper and longer than the cars around him. So, and that's of course that's assuming that we don't have any sort of safety car shenanigans. But in terms of the top 3, don't count out this guy just yet. Zach Johnson running there, quietly in 4th place, not getting involved in any of the kind of overtaking and the letting know you're there by tucking under the wing kind of business in the front 3. Just letting the shenanigans between them pull in closer and closer to them and build a bigger and bigger gap back to the rest of the pack. And the rest of the pack at the moment headed up by Skills Dan's teammate in the Red Bull, the Oracle Red Bull Racing offshore. Explicit Simo is half a second back, with Chuck up into 7th place and 2.4 seconds of the gap to Simo at the moment. You can see that Ty Collins 1.3 seconds lost behind him. Rapid F1, 2 places gained, half a second back from Icon. Is this where we see the move? What sort of exits are you going to get? Not a bad one. Is that gap going to close? Hell yes it is. DRS opens and he's going to make this move. Is he going to be close enough? I don't think he is. Is he going to go around the outside just like the trailer park goers did for Eminem? No, he's going to chuck it out the inside. Has he got the momentum into turn 2. This is a really good battle between them. Side by side they go. Rapid F1 gets his foot on the power. Does he say goodbye to White Commons? Hell yes he does. He says thank you very much for getting involved. See you later. And one goes up into the top 8 in this race. Cameron Poulter. Where is he? 15th place. Really losing out in this race is Cameron Poulter. I was looking for him. I was thinking he's got to be around there somewhere. But he's not. He's down in 15th. He started second behind Chuckle Brothers. Now finds himself in 15th place. He has pit, I think. Yes, so he has pit, as has Paul Jones Jr. and Panda and Naismith with just Death Peacock and Lee Craig are both DNF from this race. We are on lap 10 of 28 here in Shanghai, China for round number 5. This is Smoking Pirellis Racing Club Tuesday series. This is season 7, round number 5 at Shanghai. That's a spin from Cameron Poulter, and that's not going to do him any favours at all down there in the depths of 6th place. Dusty Fate's still the leader of this race in the AlphaTauri. Skills Dan still tucked in 2nd place. Chuckle Brothers still in 3rd place. Still on hard tyres and still going longer into this race than the 2 cars ahead. Are they all going to... Well, this is the thing now. The longer the Chuckle Brothers holds on those hard compound tyres to Dusty Fates and Skills Dan, who are both on the medium. The longer he holds on, the worse it's going to be for Dusty Fates and Skills Dan, and even Zach Johnson, when it comes to the final stage of this race. Because they might have track position on Chuckle Brothers, but they're going to be on those hard compound tyres Chuckle Brothers is using now, and he will be on some nice new, shiny, soft, medium compound race tyres. And we just see Dusty Fakes pulling it off the racing line, and there's a number of reasons for that. Most of them start with the word slip and finish with the word stream. You're already giving up DRS because you're in the lead of this race. And did we just see Skills Dan putting into the pits? Yes, we did. So Skills Dan pitting early, lap 12 for him. That means he's going to go 16 laps on the hard compound tyre, which is probably about right, actually, to be fair. You can certainly do that. But it really depends on how long Chuckle Brothers wants to take his hard compound tyre and how long everyone else is taking the mediums. So, Dusty Fakes. That was really creepy. The mediums. If I was a school teacher, I'd be in prison. Not because I do anything naughty, just because of sometimes the way I speak is very creepy now there. So, Dusty Fakes in the lead of this race, 6/10 up from Chuckle Brothers. Sean is 4.4 seconds back. So not really involved in that fight in the top 3 or 4. Those out of that fight, Skills Dan is now on the hard compound tyres. Zach Johnson, for a second it looked blue. It's not, it's white. It is the hard compound tyre. I'm getting good at this. I could have looked it up, but it just looked at the side of the car instead. So let's have a full rundown, shall we? Not physically get run down because that would hurt on this car. We've got Panda 25. Contrary to what he says there, it is actually only one of them, and he is there in 16th place. We've lost Cameron Poulter, Naismith, Death Peacock, and Lee Craig. David. He's not really Craig. But it's shame to his Cameron Poulter ran so well in that sprint race and looked to be doing well here, and then it all went very spin-shaped. And there is Dusty Fakes into the pits, along with Explicit Simo. Both going to switch out. iCommons in as well. They're going to move on to these white-walled hard compound tyres. Ozan, he's had his stop. He is running in 15th position for McLaren. He's on the hard compound tyre. Will run to Chuck is on the hard compound tyre. He's also running to the end. He is 4 seconds back from Jr., who's coming into the pits right now. Funk's old brother. Immortal just coming out of the pits. He is in 13th place. Chuck Brothers is out of the pits. He's on the hard compound tyres and he's 1.4 behind Commons. And he will be trying to use that impetus to chase down that 3 seconds to Vroom. But Vroom does still need to go into the pits. So not hugely concerned at this stage. I'm sure we'll be getting data from his race engineer telling him as such. Explicit Simo, so Vroom is 4.3 seconds back from Explicit Simo. And there he is in the Alfa Romeo. He is also on those hard compound tyres, chasing down Shan the man. He does still need to pit. He's on the hard compound tyre. He will be looking to pit again about 3, maybe 4 laps. His pit window for those hards. There's Curly. He's in the Mercedes-Benz. He still needs to pit also. He is running again, still lap 15, 16, maybe 17. He's got big grass dangling. Who knows? Ahead of him, just 0.2 of a second. There is Shan in the Alfa Romeo. He's not the Alfa Romeo, is he? He's an Alfa Tauri. Idiot. Idiot. That's what they say in France, I think. Zach Johnson is ahead of Shan, 2.6 seconds. He has stopped his running to the end on those hard compound tyres. Just behind, or 2.7 seconds if you count that as just, I suppose. It depends whether you're walking or driving an F1 car, isn't it? Yeah, 2.8 seconds behind someone when you're walking is relative. Skills down is 0.6 behind our previous race leader, Dusty Fates. They're both on the hard compound tyres. They're both running towards the end of this race. Rapid F1. He's yet to stop. He's now up to the dizzy heights of third. 2.1 seconds behind Chucky. And really good opportunity here. He's going to lose. Of course he's going to lose a couple of races. That's just goes without saying. And I tell you what, those guys on the hard compound tyres now that are yet to stop, I bet they are absolutely gagging for a safety car. If we get a safety car now, Chuckle and Sean are in a brilliant position. Rapid F1's in a pretty damn good position as well, considering his qualifying place. So at the moment, it's all hinging on pit stops, pit strategy. Now, Chuckle, 5 seconds clear. He's on the hard tyres. His pit window opens now. This lap, sort of next lap, maybe the lap after. As we see Skills Dan on those hard tyres, putting in that's a 36.2 on the hard compound tyres. Now, the battle we're really looking at is between Skills Dan and Chuckle. So if I want to have a look at the gap to leader. So Skills Dan's 22.6 seconds back from Chuckle. It's about a 28-second loss in the pit stop. So at the moment, Chuckle just needs, and look, you know, they're not the only two changing, but they're probably the two at the moment you most would expect to be duking out for the championship. And Chuckle will want to be significantly ahead of Skills now, coming out of the pit stop. Doesn't need to be yet. He's going to be on the outside, but he'll want that advantage because it's all well and good to be pushed up behind. But if you can't make the overtake, it counts for jack shit. But Chuckle Brothers does lead the race by 4.9 seconds from Sean. Sean. That's actually his real name. His parents were so happy with the name Sean. They named him several times. Chuckle into the pits. Sean stays out. Rapid F1 stays out. It's good to see Rapid F1 in the top 3. Even if it is only during a pit cycle. That's what I'm looking for. Although you wouldn't cycle with you. Well, I suppose you can do a cycle pit stop. I thought used to do triathlons. She's had to do cycle pit stops before. And technically transitioned from getting out of the pool and getting onto a bike is a pit stop of sorts. So Sean leads this race in the Red Bull Racing. Is he keeping it warm for Skills Dan? Or Chuckle Brothers, where did he come out? He's 1.1 seconds behind Skills Dan. So that's the gap. That's the guy he's racing right now. Skills Dan up ahead, and Dusty Fates. They're his two top three rivals. They're the guys that he's really focused on at the moment. Dusty Fates 15 seconds behind Rapid F1, still needs to pit. And Sean as well still needs to pit. He is 1.2 seconds up the road. Now, I wonder if they can pull out a gap. But they're on worn hard tyres at this point. Very worn hard tyres. And it is notable actually that nobody's strategised a two-stopper here. Actually, I think Canada was okay with the soft tyres, but it obviously hasn't worked out too well for them. So, can Sean or even Rapid pull out a big enough gap over the likes of Dusty Fake, Skills Dan, and Chuckle Brothers? I don't know what I call his brothers. Brother. I need to go from South London. So you would have thought I could just say brothers without a problem. So, Sean in, Rapid F1 stays out again. So it is literally just Shad, Vroom, Curly, and Rapid F1 that need to stop still. And there is a yellow flag in Sector 1, and that is a very, very, very slow F1 Immortal. He might be immortal, but he's going very slowly. So nothing immortal about. He's going to be immortalised in tortoiseshell. Rapid F1's your leader, 15 seconds almost clear of Dusty Fates, who's under significant pressure from Skills Dan. Skills Dan will want to make this overtake because the last thing they want is to be the one being challenged by Chuckle. Now, this battle is just going to bring Chuckle into it. He's already closed that gap down. And I say that, and Chuckle chucks it up the outside. Skills Dan so busy watching Dusty Fates and trying to find a way through. And Chuckle says, thank you very much. I'm not waiting for this. I'm on it. And I said, when he got on these medium tyres, they might be in trouble. And they already are. Skills Dan has already been dispatched. And Chuckle now making the move on Dusty Fates and making it look very, very easy. So up into second place. But let's face it, it will be first when Rapid F1 finally goes in the pits. Can Skills Dan make a move on Dusty Fates and try to close back on Chuckle Brothers? He does make the move. They've both got DRS. But who's going to benefit from this? Who's got the inside line? That's the question. It doesn't really matter here. What matters is the traction they get out of this next corner. And Skills Dan makes the move on Dusty Fates up into third. Can he make it stick? He's going to be giving up some DRS now to Dusty Fates behind. But he's going to get some himself. And he's ahead. Rapid F1 into the pits. Zach Johnson goes through. Does that also put Sean through? Yes, it does. Sean is also through. What about Explicit Simo? Has he got enough to get through? Rapid F1 is back out on track. And Explicit Simo is behind him. So Rapid F1 does make a few gains there, actually. Up into 6th place. That's a good strategy to go as long as he did. And he's now going to be chasing down Sean and Zach Johnson and Dusty Fates and Skills Dan, who are all on medium compound tyres. We're on lap 28, we're on lap 18 of 28 laps here at China. Almost there, getting closer and closer to the goal. Chuckle is in the lead of this race. He's 1.1 seconds clear of Skills Dan. He is just half a second up from Dusty Fates, who is 1.4 seconds clear at the moment. Zach Johnson in 4th. Sean in 5th place, 1.6 seconds back. He's going to have a very rapid F1 hunting him down in 6th place. Explicit Simo in 7th, 1.8 seconds back. Curly is 8 seconds back in 8th place. I-Commons just 2/10 looking to make a move on Curly. He's got the DRS. He's got the slipstream. Move made. I-Commons up to 8th place. Curly drops down at fastest lap there for Chuckle Brothers in the lead of this race. Talking of brothers, there's one. There's Chuck. Does he now make the move on Curly? Curly's still in the pit as well. He's been out there for an age. No intention of being anytime soon. Really well been missing around the years there for each other. But Ross Curley's still got it out there. The only driver not to stop so far in this race. Now, are they hoping for a safety? I think now they're kind of holding out for a safety car to give them some kind of protection from the onslaught of pretty much everyone from behind. It's going to be Chuck, it's going to be Ozan, it's going to be Shan. It may well also be Panda. It probably won't be Room. We've lost Immortal, we've lost Paul Jones Jr., we've lost Cameron Poulter, we've lost Naylor Smith, we've lost Death Peacock, and we've lost Lee Craig, all from this race. There are just 9 laps remaining. That is all of, 18 minutes left. And I do apologise to those of you waiting for late night racing. We will get to it straight after the end of this race. I might have warning I'm going to be late, and hopefully we'll only miss original laps. We should only miss qualifying. 18 minutes qualifying, we actually really going to miss. So it is what it is. We'll know where everyone is at the end of qualifying. But Chuckle Brothers, there's your leader. 1.9 seconds clear of Skills Dan. I will be with you soon, Blumchum. I'll be with you very soon. Yes, the Skills Dan is running 2 seconds behind Chuck Brothers. Dusty Fates is 3/10 off that Skills Dan. That's your top 3. Zach Johnson not closing up on that top 3 at the moment. They seem to be holding out quite well. Rapid F1, remember, is though on medium compound tyres and should be closing them down. Right, we've got a couple of penalties. Simo and Panda both with penalties. What are those penalties for? He was. I'll tell you right now, I don't know. But it is 3 seconds for Simo. That will keep him exactly where he is. 3 seconds for Panda will keep him exactly where he is. Now, tyre-wise, I think we will double check because just in case. It's medium out front for Chuckle. Going to be very difficult for Skills Dan and for Dusty Face to keep up with that. They're on the hard tyres. Zach Johnson on the hard tyres. Sean on the medium. Can Sean close up on Zach Johnson, get himself into the top 4? Can Rapid F1 close up on Sean and Jack Johnson and get themselves into the top 4 or even into the top 5? It'll be whatever it is, it will be a good finish for Rapid F1 because it hasn't been a great. It hasn't been one of those days where you Explicit Simo. He's in 7 places on the hard compound tyre. That I fear that gap will just get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. iCommons in 8th place is 9.2 seconds back from Explicit Simo. The other brother, Chuck, 1.4 back from iCommons. And at the moment that gap just seems to be holding firm. What's going on with Sean? Is there a battle going on here? There is. Sean and Zach Johnson going at it into turn 1. Sean round the outside with those better tyres. Makes the move. Does it stick? Yes, it does. Don't be a dick. He takes that position. It's all his. And Zach Johnson has to resign himself into... he's not resigning himself to it. He wants to come back at him in the Alfa Romeo, but just doesn't have the traction on those hard compound tyres. Next target is going to be Rapid F1. He's going to be hunting down Zach Johnson, and I fear he may have to worry about him very soon. What about out front? Anything to worry about for Chuckle Brothers? Well, the only thing he's got to worry about is that his engine explodes or it's something chucks it down with rain and he doesn't have any wet tyres, or I don't know. His wheel falls off. But at the moment, comfortable 3.2 seconds clear, just 7 left remaining at China. There is Skills down 3.2 seconds back. Dusty Fate still staying within half a second. He's got the DRS as well. Skills down doesn't have that benefit. He's not close enough to Chuckle to get it. So he's going to find himself under significant pressure from Dusty Fates. Sean, despite being on the quicker tyres, on those medium tyres, cannot make any inroads into that top 3. And actually, I think he's going to be under some pressure from Rapid F1 if he does get past Zach Johnson. We'll see though, because Sean did make that great move on attack, and we'll see what happens next. There is Zach. He's just half a second back from Sean after losing that place. Rapid F1 now is the guy trying to make the move on him. He's looking for a way through. At the moment, can't find it. He's going to be quicker coming out of the corner. We can certainly break and touch later into them on those soft tyres. See a little crack on them in the inside. And clearly a lot of them up at some point. But still looking at 15 Explicit Simo is running 7th with iCommons 9 seconds back, 2 seconds back to Chuck, 6th back to Shan, 11 back to Panda, Ozan to Fan, Ozan Fan. Sign up to my Ozan fans. It's like Ozan fans, but and every quid you give them for longer. That's not true. Vroom 5.6 seconds back, and then Curly in 14th. We've lost Immortal. Apparently he can die because he's dead. Paul Jones Jr. in 16th, Cameron Poulter in 17th, Nathan 18th, and Lee Craig David in 20th place. And I added the David Wheatley. No change out front. Dusty Fates can't make a move on skills, and Rapid F1 has now got past Zach Johnson. And has got to try and make a move now on Sean if he can. This would be something if he can get himself on. At the moment, his target, when he's inside the top 5, that's a good target. And in terms of position gain, he's got to be up there certainly. He is 6 places gained for him. To be fair, there is 8 places gained for Panda. However, Pandas are more down to people below having. Did not finish rather than it is with Rapid F1 where it's just very good strategy and racing fast. I think it'd be quite disappointing if Rapid F1 was not the driver of the day based on arbitrary counting. Nothing against Panda, great result to make up 8 places because there's only 6 that have just been, so at some point he's have to overtake somebody, but Rapid F1 is going to close the stage of this race and looking to capitalise on the medium compound tyre. Hopefully, I mean, Sean at the moment is closing on Dusty Fates. It's down to 1.4 seconds. And it's a real shame we don't have a kind of real-time kind of lap data like we do on GT7 to see what the kind of lap times have been like over the last few laps. Here's Rapid F1 pulling out, up into 4th. He makes the move on Sean into turn penultimate, or number of 15, I think it is. Into turn 15, up into 4th place. Now the gap there, you can see that's the car up ahead. That's who he's hunting down. That is a podium place just there for Rapid F1, who started this race 7 places further back in 11th position. If he can snatch a podium from that place, I will applaud him resoundingly. Chuck with a 3-second time penalty. That won't cost him anything unless Shad can close the gap. Now, Rapid F1 is 1.4 seconds behind Dusty Fate, and he is desperately trying to find a way out of this gap. Now, this is where you'd want to be the guy in front. You might not have the DRS, you might not have the slipstream, but the other thing you don't have is a guy on medium compound tyres, new medium compound tyres, absolutely crawling all over you like a condom handle hanging out the back of a donkey in Blackpool after a Friday night stack. Other animals are bathing. Right, so there's your leader. Chuckle Brothers 4 seconds clear of Skills Dan. I said this in the sprint race. Chuckle Brothers has been normally clear. There is Skills Dan. 3.9 seconds back. Under some pressure from Dusty Fates. Can he make the move? No, he can't. But he does try it here. This is where he makes the move, maybe. No, he doesn't. He's still behind. Skills Dan doing such a good job of holding him off. And this is just allowing Rapid F1 just to, well, it's not actually, I say it allows him to get closer. But actually, if anything, Rapid F1's further back. He's not closing the gap fast enough for me. And he's got Sean now on the back of him. So Rapid F1 is no longer thinking about what's going on with Dusty Fate. Can I catch him? What's going on for him is that he is stuck behind with Sean behind him, trying to make a move. And I'm not ignoring you, Blum Chum. I know you're ready for me, and I will accept it as soon as this race is finished. And we've got a safety car. We have a safety car. Is it a virtual safety car? I don't see the safety car out. Who do we lose? That's the question, because it doesn't look like we've lost anyone. Who's going slowly? That's the next question. So, we've got some pitters. There's Drum going into the pits. There's Chuck Brothers in the pits. There's Curly in the pits. That's a new wing for Chuck Brothers. Well, that'll be why we've got what looks like a virtual safety car. We do. This is negated race. Now, does this give us... I'm doing well, Drew. Thank you for asking, buddy. Doing much, much better. Thank you for asking. Yeah, it's good to hear more of this too. Although my throat is dry, my drink is running. I've got another race to do right now. So, this virtual safety car, it depends how long we have it for, really. We shouldn't have it for long. It was only, there we go. Drive-through penalty for Roseanne to fan. So we've lost 6 drivers in the race. Immortal, Paul Jones Jr., Cameron Poulter, Nay Smith, Death Peacock, and Lee Craig. All gone. Finished. Done. They're out. No more. They are ex-drivers. They are dead. Finished. Gone. And Immortal is not immortal. Very clear. Virtual safety car is over. Chuckle Brothers. 2.6 seconds clear. He's got skills down behind him. That gap's come down a little bit. Who is a big winner here? Rapid F1 and Sean. Both big winners here. They're both on newer medium tyres. Dusty Fake Skills Dan, both on used hard tyres. They came in earlier. It did give them a little bit of an advantage over Chuckle Brothers early. Chuckle Brothers came out behind Skills Dan, but with the better tyres, the better traction, took that position. And hasn't looked back ever since. Doesn't need to. He is 2.7 seconds clear. Rapid F1, however, finally got his way around Sean. Sean first, saw Sean, Zach Johnson, saw Rapid F1. Then catching Sean, making the move on Sean, and now we've got literally a couple of laps left for Rapid F1 to try and make his way to the top 3. Or does Sean pull off the doozy and take both of them? Both Rapid F1 and Dusty Fake in the top 3. Or does Dusty Fake take catching himself and stays in 3rd? But we don't know. Anything can happen. Chuckle can crash. Skills Dan can crash. Dusty Fake can crash. Cody could crash and bring out a safety car. Anything can happen now. We're on lap 26 of 28. Just about to start lap 27. And here we go. 2 laps remaining. Don't worry, guys, at Late Night Racing. I'm a-coming. And I will catch you, I think you'll only be a few minutes of qualifying by the time I get there. See you soon, my friends. See you soon. So, Chuckle in the lead. 2.8 seconds is the lead. And it's going to take a monumental fuck up from epic proportions for him not to win this race now. There is Skills Dan in 2nd, and Rapid F1 and Dusty Fakes going. There's a battle. What happened? Rapid F1 went for the move. It didn't work. He's lost out. He's lost a number of places. So Rapid F1 tried to make that move, and all of a sudden, a similarly process, the podium's up for grabs. It doesn't. Rapid F1 makes an error trying to make that move. It doesn't happen, and Dusty Fakes holds on. Now, does Sean capitalise on this? He's got 1 lap left to go. Hammer time. Can he get close enough? I think he's too far off. I think at 1.3 seconds, he's just not going to do enough there. But, you know, you can't fault Rapid F1. He had to go for it. Absolutely had to go for it. You're in that position. You see a podium there. You started in 11th place. Only a racer would do that. You know, there are people out there. There are people in F1 that would happily settle for that 4th place. But that is the difference between world champions or championship winners and championship contenders. And the reason that Rapid F1 is a Thursday Tier 1 champion is because he is prepared to make moves like that. And he's lost some places. He's lost another place now to Explicit Sim. And I wonder if he's picked up some damage. And I've got to say though, for me, he's still getting driver of the day for me because he's had a go. He's made that chance for himself. and tried to take it on, and it just didn't work out for him. But there's your leader, Chuckle Brothers. Now that gap is down to 1.6 seconds. Is he on a bit of a fuel-saving exercise to the end? Has he kind of overcooked it a little bit? Because Skills Dan is really closing. How much is left of this lap? We're in sector 2. I think only if he runs out of fuel we'll have a problem. But it looked like he just let off the pace a little bit on those medium tyres. Just allow Skills Dan to get a bit closer. But this is how it looks like it's going to finish. It will be Chuckle Brothers from Skills Dan from Dusty Fates. We'll go through it as it crosses the line. We'll go through it and then we'll jump straight across to the season finale action from Late Night Racing. So here comes Chuckle. He's going to come down towards this turn for the last time. And this is lap 28 off 28 here in Shanghai, China for the Chinese Grand Prix. This is Smoking Pirellis, I forgot that word. Smoking Pirellis Season 7, Round 5, Tuesday League here at Shanghai. Next week we move on to Australia, Albert Park. And Chuckle Brothers wins the sprint, wins the feature race. That's 2 from 2 for him. Skills Dan, good second place from him. Dusty Fates in 3rd. Sean in 4th. Zach Johnson 5th. Explicit Simo in 6th. Rapid F1 went for it. Didn't make it happen in 7th place. No, he's in 6th place. Explicit Simo. He takes him on the line. So it must have been a penalty of some sort. Icons will come home in 8th place. Shan in 9th. Panda will be 10th, I think. Yeah, looks like it. Penalty or not in 10th. Ozan Tufan will finish in 11th place. Vroom in 12th. Curly will finish in 13th. And Chuck Brothers will finish in very, very last place. And it was him that brought about the virtual safety car because he crashed his motor. But there we go. So we are done and dusted here, and I am ducking out a little bit early. But thank you very much for joining me. Jump straight over onto the next stream which is coming up, which will be for Late Racing. It's been emotional. Thank you so much, Smoking Pirellis guys. Laters. Got another one coming straight up after this. See you, mate.